Hello everyone. The title of today's episode is Looking from Behind the Shoulders of Man. For what we leave behind is given the shape of the life that we choose to see it in. You're formed, and so forms come to you. Comparison has become your tool, and now you listen to the words of a being who is talking about his being. There are moments when we see how human beings interact with one another, that they are trying to survive as an idea in their playground, as a presence in their playground. It seems survival is not just physical survival, but our culture shows that we want to survive as identities. We want to survive as beings who are doing something valuable. But why is it that we are not finding our moment of experience valuable? Why is it that there is stress, depression? Why is there the creation of worlds that seem to be distant from where we need to be? As consciousness speaks anew, you will understand the existential clarity that is within your present moment. This is a sense of you being here, right now, where you exist, where you are beyond the set of conclusions made by passing imagery. You are sensing your senses. And that is a profound act for the mystic who is recognizing the unknown speaks through the silence. For that is how the voice was always observed. There is ideology, and this ideology is allowed to run in front of man. And as he runs in front of man, we begin to see the tracks of our intention to manifest when we think we know. Let's say it like this. Mankind right now has two states of being to be aware of before any exploration that could be multidimensional or any other context you would like to put it in. It's you must become aware of the thinker in a manner that if your world had lied to you in an instant, you are becoming its gaze of truth. Your intent to see shall turn you into the sight that you are. There's an amazing phenomena happening. People are walking around and they are thinking they are people. But they are people only through the settings that acknowledge them as such and their memories of such settings. Mankind is his own development. What that means is, it seems when we look at human history and the progression of our technologies, the human being's survival was also its interaction and involvement with its world, and how he could make this world out of every single world that was open to every human being who's lived so far. Creation is no little thing because you are no little thing. The reason there is talk of realization, of absolute experience, of the supreme truth becoming an experiential knowing, is simply because man needs to get an experience of this existence beyond the life that he thinks he has. Because if we are not aware of this subtlety in that before we think who we are projecting worlds of postulation and consideration of conception, you will not get out of your problem because you are keeping it there. And what that means is, if that moment there was an impulse within you to go do the thing which had no reason to be done, maybe the reason was that your world wanted you to do it. No man, no understanding of man requires that act aside from the man who trust the life within man. For guys, this progression is huge. The people of the modern world are living at a different state of consciousness, and it's not that far. It is becoming a lack of mindfulness. And mindfulness means it is not a war we are fighting, but it is a mass field of cluttered conception that is not making us see the absolute in things. You must work with your state of being, not how you are in regards to an idea, in regards to a certain form changing, you know. This does not mean ignore the actuality that is in your present moment, but a multidimensional being is understanding that time and space are not its rulers. Man took out the ruler. And if you were to ask yourself, what is the point of a random phenomena of a sense of thinker? What is the point of this human being suddenly having such an ability to rationalize, to envision, and to observe, but suddenly going towards an end which it thinks it's not nice? There is a purpose here beyond our ignorance to understand it in human ways. The nature of your world is the nature within. And you will perhaps find yourself many times thinking, why is there no one behind me in this walk of life? Why am I alone in this individual manifestation, in this individual landscape that I am thrown? Why am I here? And when you question this, you will begin to see it is as if that person who was waiting for his life, when he saw the opportunity, he had been there years before he could be. Revelation is how you're transitioning smoothly into more of a self-aware sense of existential intelligence. And this is moving from ideology to the experience of ideology. So right now it is very important for mankind in schools not to teach about just ideology, but the experience in which ideologies came from. For ideas are very playfully the deities for the man who thinks. He's an ego, which is an egg about to crack. Begin to see your world is kept by a consideration that it can be doctrinated. It can come from dogma, structure, and design. But in the observance of design, there is the ability of the being found. You are great not by what you have done, but by what you can always do. The intentions here should be aligned. Mankind must be guided with the attention of the cosmos. It is now where man shall make a request. Man shall begin communicating to his world. Man shall be creating worlds in which the peace from internality comes. What that means is if in externality there is no hope, you are seeing a world that is about to crumble. Like the last leaf in your changing seasons of remembrance. Your choice is suggesting the health of this world. Your vision is suggesting your ability to be a part of it. You must clear your vision. You must clarify things internally, and then from within your internal dimensions, open the valves of creative response. Man right now, more than anything, just needs a creative response. History cannot survive the light of the novel moment. History cannot survive the awareness of a being to an existence right now. That means that many people can tell you many things, but you can look right now and you can know that you exist in this world of worlds. Now, the duty of existence is to pay attention to its bodies of manifestation. The duty of existence is to also observe all bodies of manifestation. These bodies, from physical observance, take you to a platform which you think you're observing the physical, but you're actually aware through the subtlety of thought and thinking. And this is, of course, something where man has called it thinking. It's a phenomena that occurs when your positioning is changing in regards to how your consciousness has been oriented. We want to make this plane of existence the most honest plane of existence. We want to do the greatest project the cosmos has known, and that is not to go on to other planets. That is to make our planet evolve. That is for our attention to be into the evolution of this projected reality, and we will see that we will find the piece of the vision that was collectively here, and we will bring it into the individuality that requires a certain action from you and a certain creative response in the consideration of a spaced and timed reality. Your nature of reality shifts based on your sincerity and authenticity and honesty. Honesty to some nowadays is looking like a burden, something where they don't understand why they must do when the playgrounds of society seem to be giving smiles to the cruel. However, there is something here. There is something here that no man has seen and no man will ever see. But there is something here that the observance of man has always known. The reason it is important to speak about multidimensional senses of being, multidimensional consciousness, is because it is required in how you shall navigate your thought. As human culture is evolving, mankind forgot to evolve himself. What that means is humanity has gotten desperate to save the worlds that are as temporal as his vision is in this plane to some degree. However, there is no confiscation. There is no punishment aside from how you step on the staircase. And what that means is some people, when they're coming down the staircase, you know, if it's dark, you can't see the staircase and you're going down. If you're not aware, you'll just fall down. You know, you'll get closer to your destination. You're going down the stairs. That's where you want to go. But if you're not aware, you'll just fall down. And you'll just fall down and you'll hit the bottom. You know, you'll be like, oh gosh, I just fell down from a flight of stairs. And suddenly, you begin to see, but still, I went through the journey. I lived this life. I moved and I experienced and I projected and I transcended the projection. Causality is never a mistake. For behind your shoulders you have stood with the transcended smile of an infinite being. Your projections will at first communicate many stories. You will see many guides and many projections of beings appear to you in your subtler planes of consideration. That is simply because you're stepping foot in a new sense of conscious reality and you're localizing. What that means is if you're in the park just sitting down and your eyes are closed and you're in a meditative state, in a sense, there's no such thing as a meditative state. You're just paying attention to existence in the way that the nature of your existence shifts. It's as if the alchemy found in the beauty of how lead turned into gold. Because lead was not choosing to have an external leader. Lead transformed innately and then it turned into gold. The butterfly, the caterpillar went into the cocoon to then rise again into a new form. The moment I saw a butterfly, I needed no greater prophet. Because I saw that one state of being, in its lack of ability to fly, suddenly transitions and gets wings and goes into a new state of being. But you must realize that caterpillar, it didn't just pop and change into the butterfly. It went into the cocoon. It went into its emptiness. It died to be reborn. And so you must see that consciousness needs a birth only when an individual needs to walk. But if you are the wind that has always carried the journey, from behind your shoulders, omnisciently, you shall see. You were never behind. For the intelligence within man is beyond the cruelty that does not see the same. As transparency becomes your companion, you shall teach yourself the way. For behind the shoulders of man there could be no one else aside from the rest of the cosmos observing you. Let all ideology immediately integrate. Do not create theories of separation, for then you will create distinction between the human phenomena, and human communication has to grow. Where human communication has to go. In a sense, human communication is not just human communication. They're natural phenomena and fluctuations of how the day and how the world is behaving. What that means is when the earth wants to turn, we all feel that turn. And similarly, there are many other greater intentions which man is basking in to be the survivor of the divine. Tangled by symbols, clarity is your escape. For a man who created a world he could not live in, lived in an animosity that was always captured within. A blessing shall come, and as your wings open, you shall be your new command. Experience is your guide. For behind your shoulder there was no man. You are the freedom of your next choice. Choose omnisciently. And compassionately. Much blessings and namaste.